Valhalla is where all the gods live together and features different realms for all pantheons we have seen in Record of Ragnarok. This can be called the first world. We then have Midgard or Earth, the second world for humanity, and then the third, known as Helheim, Hell, or the Underworld, which likely features many realms of its own similar to Valhalla. Long before the current gods we know in the story, the Primordials existed, who seemingly created the universe and featured around 88 of them. This is alongside 4 being recognized as the leaders or pillars, the group known as the Yggdrasil, who ruled the original world as the strongest, that being the ones known as Ymir, the primordial giant, the Lord of Chaos, the Demon King Satan, and of course the creator god Odin, which featured the crazy war that concluded with the pillars being sealed away, at least apart from their weapons, which later allowed Odin to reawaken in a nameless god, naturally beginning his plan to resurrect the others, which are currently seeing in the background of Ragnarok. But during that crazy battle, only a few primordials survived, most notably Izanagi, who later saved Okitsuji after the Susanoo fight, and was recognized as the supreme god of the Japanese pantheon, with us having other supreme gods introduced that aren't primordials like Izanagi, notably Ra for the Egyptian pantheon, Mazda, and ones known as the head or chief gods. So this connects back to Valhalla, which you could view as the hub world for all the godly realms. Shiva is the supreme god of the Hindu or Indian pantheon. Odin is the supreme god of the Norse pantheon, as this version isn't technically in his primordial body. And then we have the Greeks, the pantheon we've learnt the most about, had the most fights, and seemingly are the most important in the Ragnarok story. So Hades is the supreme god, or I should say was the supreme god of Helheim, meaning of the underworld or the main realm of that world, while Zeus is the supreme god of the Greek pantheon, something he acquired during the Titan tournament where he defeated and killed his father Kronos. And then the Olympian Greeks maintained that control during the later war with the primordial goddess Gaia and the Titans we saw during the Hades flashback. Additionally, Zeus is the chairman of the Gods' Council in Valhalla, meaning he is the one supreme god above everyone else in the current story. On top of that, across these different worlds and realms, we have the various species and groups we have seen in the story. This makes up the Ragnarok universe. We also have the ones known as the Outer Gods, who seem to exist across the many realms, but aren't officially part of the politics or rules set up in Valhalla, the hub world. And it's likely the case that each realm in Valhalla has some type of counterpart in Helheim, such as these various demons from different pantheons, but I'm imagining once Anubis fights in the main series, which could be next for round 12, and more fights occur in Apocalypse of the Gods, such as all these demonic or outer gods as well, we will have more insight about that aspect of the story. It's also important to note that the ranking of gods throughout Record of Ragnarok is kind of based on a clout thing as well. For example, the more popular a specific pantheon is, or a specific god is, their rank and I guess power when it comes to moving throughout the different worlds is expanded on. For example, the supreme gods are the only ones who are officially allowed to travel to the different worlds, meaning going from Valhalla to Helheim. This is of course going through the gate known as the Bifrost, which somewhat connects to overall strength but isn't exactly the case. For example, Sun Wukong is regarded in the Record of Ragnarok series as a low-ranking god. He doesn't have insane clout, he isn't recognized as a supreme god in any regard, but he's still one of the strongest as declared by Zeus himself. And right now what we're seeing in the current Apocalypse of the Gods fight with Suzaku vs Indra, where this group is highlighted as part of the Chinese pantheon, but very low ranked compared to the high ranking gods in this realm of the world. However, when an individual can acquire insane strength, like what Suzaku's done, like what Sun Wukong has done, and many others as well, they do have the ability to enter the hub world such as Valhalla, which is why all these outer gods have appeared at the start of Apocalypse of the Gods, watching Record of Ragnarok start, which includes Morrigan, officially shown in the main series during Loki's flashback to the Chapter 1 events, highlighting that Apocalypse of the Gods is indeed canon. If they wield insane strength, they can kinda do whatever they want, but if they go too far, like what Ra did, going against all of Valhalla for the sake of trying to destroy humanity on his own, resulting in even supreme gods to be recognized as outer gods when something like that occurs. But that's a brief outline of how the entire Record of Ragnarok world works. Of course, there are some issues and inconsistent elements, but this is a brief explanation. I would like to also make it clear that while many things about the gods from various religions and mythology is accurate to what we know in the real world, most things are not, as they're trying to connect all these things into one story. So yes, some aspects may apply, but most things don't, and it's better to consider these characters within the Record of Ragnarok story solely. With some very important examples being the role of Jesus in Record of Ragnarok. He is simply one of the 4 sages alongside Buddha and these other 2. He's not a fighter, nothing like that is considered for Record of Ragnarok. The god of Christianity that created Adam probably won't be expanded on or shown in any degree when it comes to the future of Ragnarok. Just one little mention to explain how Adam came to be. And the various demons we have in Record of Ragnarok are even more of a mystery. We have Beelzebub's flashback where it's heavily implied that he is in fact the current Satan, but we have no information about how it connects to the primordial god known as Satan. I hope some of these elements get expanded on in the future, but for now it's a unknown mystery. We know the existence of Herjun in his original body was long before Hades became the ruler of Helheim, so there's likely various other demons, and then the ones that have been introduced in Record of Ragnarok are Apocalypse of the Gods as well, like Below and his connection to the others, as an aspect that will likely be explored in the future. So some updates to this video will be made over the years, with there also being other things I didn't really touch upon in today's video, such as the various demigods we've seen throughout the series, some being fighters that connect to other pantheons and realms within Valhalla. But to conclude, I'll say the most important groups in all Record of Ragnarok when it comes to the current day is the Greek Pantheon, whose story and lore seemingly has been fully explained considering the crazy amount of fighters they had in the main series, and even some further expansions in Prometheus's flashback, where we actually saw Kratos as well officially in the story. Then the most important currently is likely the Norse Pantheon, considering we just got done with Loki's fight against Simo, which included his flashback. The Norse Pantheon also features all the Valkyries, so Brunhilde and Gol are connected to that. Siegfried, one of the most important characters in all Record of Ragnarok, as the boyfriend of Brunhilde and primordial vessel for Odin. Then of course the main villain in all Record of Ragnarok is pretty much the leader and creator of that Pantheon as well. So the future is about them, the current is about them, and who knows what Thor will end up doing in the future of the story as well. Anything is possible. The Indian Pantheon, as Shiva is recognized as a head god, and now we have Indra fighting in Apocalypse of the Gods as well. And then all the others, the Japanese have slowly been highlighted and rising throughout the story, both of them. Likewise with the Chinese Pantheon, which has the most evolution in Apocalypse of the Gods thus far. But if you enjoyed today's video, subscribe for more, check out this playlist with all the others, shout out to the members. That's it guys, peace.